This is my 5th year, so I was 4 years into the profession, but before then I was unofficially a mentor for a couple of years. My initial training included a day session with Learners First, who I've been working with, where we did a mixture of soft skills, and then we also did some practice feedback, we did role play, etc. And then we've also done in-house 3-hour sessions in an evening. In terms of challenges and things I didn't expect to happen, I've had issues with parents where we've had our salary trainees, they've come for 6 weeks and we've done a swap, and for some parents and for some students that was a bit of a shock, especially knowing that they're leaving again. In order to deal with these things, we have had meetings between the house teams, myself and the mentee. We've also met parents in an evening, we've had phone calls and we've had emails just to help them understand the process and to build working relationships. My learning curve as a mentor started off quite nice and gradual, it was quite nice and easy, and then with my current mentee that was a bit of a challenge just because he was so different compared to my previous mentee. The differences between the two mentees: my first one is very good at reflection and underestimates how good she is at something. So that was a case of having to build and support her in that, whereas my other mentee has been working at his school for a good couple of years. He's become embedded, and so moving to a different setting was quite complicated for him, and he's found that a bit of a struggle, and he sometimes is a little overconfident, and therefore I've had to practice reining him back in just to give him the opportunities to then extend himself back out again. The most important interpersonal skills that I've used are things like being patient, showing empathy and understanding, and being really nice and organised. The thing I was least prepared for with my mentees was not only did they need dragging out of their rooms at lunchtime, they also needed help organising their home lives for their own well-being. So as part of each weekly target setting that we do in our mentor meetings, they now have personal targets for their home life too. The thing I've learnt myself this year through being a mentor is that I'm already quite confident with the positive working relationships, but when it comes to having difficult conversations, they are the skills that I needed to develop. So in order of going between my mentee and parents, house teams, head of department, new head teacher, all of those conversations, that was quite a tough learning curve to begin with. My 2 areas of focus moving forward as a mentor next year, one would be to continue to develop my own understanding of the teaching pedagogy so that I can help my trainees when they're doing all their assessments. And the second one would be to work more closely with other mentors. I've just set up a forum online where we can hopefully share different experiences between less trained and more trained mentors. We can share experiences, etc. And hopefully that, as I go through, will then support other new mentors. My top tip for a new mentor who didn't have a lot of time was to make sure you stay really nice and organised. So for example, the people that we work with, we get a keeping in touch email every week. So I sit with that for a good hour, think about what my mentees' strengths were and what their targets were from the last week, what it is we need to focus on the next week, and then share that with the mentee. Then it means in our next session where we have a chance to work through these points, it also gives us the opportunity to talk about their home life, their well-being, and where they see themselves in a year's time, because sometimes they find it quite stressful.